I'm Jemima, and I'm here to inspire. In every show, we discuss trending matters, lifestyle, culture, leadership, education, and lots more. And I look forward to meeting you. As we engage business leaders, social entrepreneurs, academic professionals, proactive youths, join me on the show every Friday. Hi, welcome to the Jemima Show. We are happy that you tuned in, and I will be your host in this beautiful journey. And I'm Jemima Chucks, the champion. I call myself a champion because I believe that life is a fight, and life does not give you what you want. It will never give you what you need or what you deserve, but it only gives you what you demand of it. And so, in my life, in my little life, I have fought so many battles, and God has helped me to win. And that's why I'm here to share with you. And on the Jemima Show, we are going to be having a lot of victorious people, great minds. So this is the lounge. Welcome to our lounge, the VIP lounge, where great minds meet. So great minds come here to share their stories. Champions meet here to tell you how they win. I know sometimes it's very hard to get to learn from successful people, but that's why I'm here. I'm born to inspire you. The whole idea of the show is building a community alliance. You know, we're better together, and together we win more. Not just winning more, we gain more grounds. And on tonight's edition, I have right here with me a champion, and we are focusing on the champion mindset. And this great champion that we have here, it's a beautiful woman, and I'll tell you about her. She's a beautiful young lady, and I always say young not just by age, but by heart. Her heart is so beautiful. She's been through a lot with breast cancer. We are focusing on breast cancer today. Breast cancer, we know, has killed a lot of people. It has bruised a lot of families. I know maybe you have someone that once suffered, a friend, a mom that went through it. And that's why we've decided to share these stories and how you can be a champion. She will tell us how she became victorious, what she went through, and not just what she went through, how she has used her story to start up a coalition, and how this great coalition has helped thousands of women overcome breast cancer. Join me as I welcome the beautiful Vicky Cooke.
Oh my, you are so lovely. Thank you. And thank you for including me today as one of your champions. I am so honored. I don't think of myself like that, but I appreciate your recognition.
You're welcome.
My story is an interesting one, probably. I was diagnosed with breast cancer 25 years ago.
Wow.
And at a time when, breast cancer was still being hidden somewhat. You kind of determined who you could tell you had breast cancer because,
Right.
It was
Stigma.
considered something that people didn't talk about. And I worked for a youth agency for young girls, so I had become an advocate for young girls and their causes.
That's
and I had
beautiful.
3 daughters myself.
3 daughters.
I have 3 daughters. I actually have
wow.
9 grandchildren.
What? Did you
I-
just say 9 great children?
I do.
That's
Grandchildren.
amazing.
They are good.
Wow.
But I was going through a lot in my life. My daughter was getting married. I had a daughter in college. I had another daughter in high school.
Wow.
My husband lost his job right before the wedding.
Oh, no.
And I became the breadwinner with a big wedding being planned at the
my
military
goodness.
academy in Annapolis
Woo.
that everybody was planning to come to, and I was diagnosed, and I just had to say, because I had so many things, so many stresses, so much going on in my life, breast cancer, get at the back of the line. And so I really treated it like that. I will say I was lucky. in that I had a lumpectomy. I did have chemo. Back then, everybody got chemo.
Right.
But I didn't lose my hair, which was a pretty ironic thing. And I had radiation. And so I got through that. We got through, my husband finding a job again and moving my life forward. But I had this great sense of giving back, which sometimes happens with women who've been diagnosed with breast cancer. They want to share, they want to be there for someone else who's been diagnosed.
Right.
And because of my nonprofit background, I found a group that was just beginning and doing some advocacy work in breast cancer.
Okay.
I don't have a medical background. I don't have, anything other than I was diagnosed and I had this great sense of being an advocate and giving back.
That is beautiful.
So I got involved with them. I was a volunteer for 5 years. And at that point, they needed to hire a director, so I became the first director of the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. We have a contract for the state mammography van, so we make sure women get screened, and many of the things that we did. And then my husband passed away 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
He had been sick for a long time, and he passed away 4 years ago, and I was diagnosed again.
You were diagnosed again.
I was diagnosed again, and this.
And I'm not cutting you short. Like after the first one, and then you went through that, and you won that battle, and you got your life together one more time, and everything seemed to be going very well. And you never believed it would happen again. Now your husband dies, you lose your husband, the love of your life. Mm-hmm. Wow, what a story.
So it was again the same kind of breast cancer on the others in my other breast. So I pretty much had the same treatment, and they said it wasn't a metastasis, it was a new primary.
Wow.
So there was just all the lottery fever recently. I couldn't win the lottery, but I can get breast cancer twice.
One of the things that really caught my fancy in your story is how you lost your husband and then was diagnosed again. How were you able to navigate through those hard times? Because I know one of the things that kills women out there that gets the news, information from the doctor that they have breast cancer. One of the things we all know, one of the things that kills faster is depression. And when we slide into that depression and then we say things like, oh, so I'm going to die. And, the devil reminds you of your children. You're not going to be there for their weddings. You're not going to see your grandchildren. All those negative things that comes to our minds. How were you able to overcome it and still leave again?
Well, I think because I have a wonderful network of family and friends, and that's what's so important. Surrounding yourself with positive people.
Wow, that is beautiful.
I'm a firm believer that whatever we need when we are presented a challenge, we have deep down inside us. We just need to reach down and get that strength. We might not like the outcome. Life isn't always going to go the way we want it to go. But you have to, be able to accept what's happened and then make the best of it. Have a positive attitude. Surround yourself with positive people. Get all the knowledge that you can about whatever the issue is. And in my case, I had a pretty good knowledge of breast cancer because I had been involved with it as an agency for over 20 years. So, having that and reaching out to the people who were going to help me through it, not get in my way.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
I just love the positivity that oozing out from you, and I see a woman of strength. I see a woman that is full of life, that will not give up for anything. And when you're telling your story, I was just listening to you, that's just all I see. I just realized that, it's not just about what's happening on the outside, it's what's happening in the inside that really controls the reactions we get on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And that's beautiful to know, to hear how you talked about network and having the right network. So what would you say to young girls? There's a new trend going on. A lot of people think that breast cancer is for old people, older women. So what is the age that we need to go for the check, and how can we prevent it, and what are the stories? Does it have anything to do with our genes, our history, our family line? Can you tell us more about that?
We are seeing breast cancer being diagnosed in younger women. I think it's important to know your family history, although 80% of the breast cancers have no genetic backgrounds. So, but it is important to know. There is no prevention for breast cancer, but you can reduce your risk by having a healthy lifestyle. So, eating properly, good foods, having a good healthy diet, exercising, trying to not have what we call the comorbidities. So if you have diabetes or high blood pressure or high cholesterol, those kinds of things, sometimes those are the things that complicate someone who is diagnosed with breast cancer, because not only are you trying to treat the breast cancer, but you're treating these other diseases too. So it all comes together with, as we hear all the time, trying to have the healthiest lifestyle that you can. As far as screenings, we recommend that screening begin at 40 for women, meaning mammography. But if you have, if you're a high risk, you've had issues with your breasts, or if you have family members that have been diagnosed, then talk to the doctor about getting screening earlier. We're lucky now that the 3D mammogram is advancing, so women that are younger have dense breasts.
Wow.
And the 3D mammogram can see through that denseness. And that's one of the reasons why they don't have women under 40 getting mammograms on a regular basis, because it just, a tumor doesn't show up because of the dense breasts.
What is like when you talked about dense breast, what is a dense breast?
It just means that there's more fat in the breast. But when you have a mammogram, unless it's a 3D mammogram, it really can't see through that denseness.
Okay.
So when they do a picture of the breast, it's kind of all white.
Oh.
And so is a tumor. So so you wouldn't necessarily see it. Unless you felt something, then they would do other diagnostic tests. But making sure, though, that women do get screenings when it's appropriate. I think people need to ask their doctor if they're younger. We used to think, and 25 years ago when I was diagnosed, everyone thought, breast cancer was a death sentence, Yeah. In fact, I sometimes think that's where the survivor word comes from. But today we are very lucky that the survival rate has so increased that people are able to be diagnosed, go through the treatment, and then get on with their lives and move past it. Don't become the disease. Don't become breast cancer. Don't 20 years from now still be, having your life be all about the breast cancer. Try to move past it. Many women who are diagnosed in an advanced stage certainly are living with breast cancer. But the positive thing is, many of them, even with metastatic breast cancer, are living with it as a chronic disease. So they're taking medications and they're just staying one step ahead of it. So even at late stage breast cancer, women are living with it. We have women in our group that are 10, 15 years at with metastatic disease
Wow.
and have wonderful quality of life. And, but in that case, they're living with it in the same way they would live with another chronic disease.
Awesome. I know that, first of all, I want to thank you for sharing that powerful, where you explained about the dense breast and people living years with that. I know there are surgeries that they do taking out a breast. At what point do the doctors make that diagnosis? And, when you have a surgery and they take out the lump and then have to take out the entire breast, does it mean you can be free from it?
Yes and no. In some cases, a mastectomy is what is needed, and that's where they take the breast. Women with some genetic predisposition, maybe the BRCA gene, might choose to have a prophylactic mastectomy where they will have both breasts removed and to reduce the risk. You always still have breast tissue, so even if you had a mastectomy, you still could get breast cancer, but the risk is certainly reduced. Many women who have mastectomies opt for reconstruction. So, they will either use their own tissue, use implants, and that's all talking with your doctor. But I think doctors tend to be pretty conservative at this point, so that they prefer to do a lumpectomy if that's possible. In my case, I had a lumpectomy both times, and that proves to be fine. More isn't necessarily better. And sometimes you hear people say, oh, if I'm diagnosed, I'm just going to have a mastectomy. That doesn't make it better. That isn't. You work with your doctors and determine what the best choice is for you.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
one size doesn't fit all.
True. Real quick, let's talk about the champion mindset. With your experience in life, the things that you have gone through, all the things that you have, won, the battles that you have fought and that you have won, that made you a champion. So how can other people, not just about the breast cancer now, what would you have to say to other people to help them have a champion mindset?
A champion mindset for me would be, as I said, surround yourself with the positive people, and realize that you are stronger, and the knowledge that you need is out there, and you just need to take the time to find it. Don't rely on someone else to fight your battle. You have to fight your battle. You are your own person.
True.
And you just, sometimes you feel like, oh, the whole world is against you. Well, how can you deal with one more thing?
Wow.
But you can. You can.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's beautiful. So now, talking about network, how can you grow as a woman? How can you grow your network? How can you get positive people around you? How are you able to, attract positive people? What are your secrets to building a positive network?
I think being positive yourself, because your positivity is going to be a magnet for other people. People are going to want to be around you. And determine what it is that you want. And then how are you going to get it? And as I said, no one's going to give it to you. You have to want it and stay focused. Keep your eye on the prize, whatever that is. Maybe it's health. I'm going to be healthy.
Oh, okay.
And you work at that. And you just find what's out there. And if you don't find it, how can you start it?
Ooh.
How can you start it? Because if you need it, probably someone else needs it too. So
Oh, wow.
I
Wow.
that's how I live.
But that is so correct though. That is so true. I just love, the way you're sharing it, this little champion mindset things.
Yeah, I think we all will do it in our own way. What works for me might not work for someone else, but I think the overall feeling that you have the strength to do what you need to do, if you can just keep that in mind, God's given us the strength to do what we need to do. We might have to find the resource, and it may not be as easy as we'd like it to be, but we do have the strength to do it.
Wow. Wow. That's powerful. That is so powerful. I am so glad that you're sharing this. As a champion, when you have worked, you've done everything, and it looks like things are not working, and you just keep failing, and you keep comparing yourself as a woman to other people, not just as a woman, even as men, and you realize that all the people that you started your life with, they look like they're doing better. You know how that goes,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
You know
Absolutely.
how you start up with a set of people, and you all have dreams and you have goals, and you say, oh, I'm gonna be a nurse, I'm gonna be a doctor, a lawyer, I'm gonna have my own TV show.
Look at you.
And then life does not respect that, and then life doesn't really give it to you. So how do you develop the champion mindset to fight back even when you keep failing?
So I may say something that would be different. I might say that maybe you're trying to make your life and not open to maybe other things that are out there for you, and to be open to the doors that open and not try to channel it so much yourself.
Wow.
So there may be, you might want to go this way, and this is where you're going, but maybe over here, something has opened up that you're not recognizing. I could use my breast cancer as an example of that, in that I worked for a youth agency. I was working for young girls. I had no experience whatsoever with breast cancer, other than I got breast cancer. I could have stayed in that channel that I was in, but something was drawing me over here.
Wow.
And so using that as my as a direction, like if somebody had asked me, years before I was diagnosed, and telling me that I would have a career and I'd be an advocate and I'd be all this for breast cancer, I would have said, you're crazy. I have nothing to. That's not the path that I'm on.
Absolutely.
But a door opened over here, and you have to turn it into a positive. And so when I did that, when I realized, okay, I've got these skills from this path.
Right.
Maybe I can incorporate them in this path over here. It all played out. I can't plan this path, but when I was open to following that path, then my life opened up and things changed in my life.
Exactly. Now let's wrap up with that part. So would you say that the struggles that you've gone through, what life has thrown at you, the battles that, especially breast cancer and other hard times that you went through, did it make you a better person? And how did it make you a better person? Would you have preferred a life without what you've gone through, or do you think that what you went through helped you really achieve what God wanted you to achieve? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All those challenges have made me a better person. Had I had a cushy life, which we all dream to have,
right,
what would that have made me? How shallow would I have become? And by being able to, at the time, I didn't like what I was experiencing.
Okay.
But looking back, definitely formed me into the person and the strong person that I have become.
Wow.
Because I know I can overcome almost anything that gets put in front of me at this point.
That's the champion mindset right there. Yes, yes, yes. You can overcome. Come on, Vicky, tell them. You can overcome anything.
You can overcome. Again,
wow.
It's deep inside you. Pull it out.
It's deep inside you. You can overcome every battle because you are a born champion. Everything that you need to succeed in life, God has put it inside you.
Yeah.
You have all it takes. You have the character, the quality, the resources. You just heard one of the beautiful things that Vicky shared tonight, and thank you for that. You need to build a positive network. Build your network, not just a network, but a positive one. The reason why you need a positive network is just in trying times like this. There are some times that life throws things at you that you need a balance. So when you're falling, you can have people to catch you. But if you don't have positive people around you, you will fall flat on your face and it's going to be so hard to get up. So if you don't have a network right now, please start. Jemima says, build a network. Vicky says, build a network. A great positive network of women, of men, of family. And one of the things that I also want you to take home from what Vicky shared is you attract what you give out. And so today we are super happy that you tuned in, and I am sure you got value. And please subscribe to all our channels and the Now Network, and as well as on our YouTubes, our social media. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook and all the social media platforms, and go to our website www.thejemimashow.com. thejemimashow.com, and you're going to get more information about Vicky. We're going to be writing a blog about her and telling you all this that you heard right there, and you can save that, and it's going to have her contact. And if you are going through breast cancer issues or health concerns, or you have a friend or lady with breast cancer that needs Vicky's help, I'm sure you'll be excited to help them. So you can go on our website www.thejemimashow.com, and you got her details. And would you mind giving, do you have a website where they can reach you?
We do. It's www.debreastcancer.org.
Okay, debreastcancer.org. And this is Jemima, live here in Delaware on the Now Network. And with me tonight is Vicky Cooke. And we're bringing you live the champion mindset. And we decided to focus on how you can win battles of breast cancer. Till I see you next time, next week, every Friday at 1 p.m. This is Jemima, and I love you. Stay positive. Continue to be a champion because you were born to inspire. God bless you.